incapable of doing it, or they were unwilling to do it. Whatever happened on the ground has happened on the ground. We've gone past that now. So some mechanism has to be set in place by us, as a result of which we will have those 6,500 FIRs first sorted out. Those, they have to be bifurcated.
Can I request?
We can't just dump, also we can't dump 6,500 FIRs on CBI because then we'll cause a breakdown of CBI's infrastructural capabilities, because they're not meant for this kind of volume.
Kindly allow me to say something.
Yes.
Yesterday also I said that let us have the bifurcation based upon the
Mr. Mehta, you should do one thing. If officer is present here, bifurcate those FIRs where there is a charge of murder.
Appears to be 150 from page 5, broad, rough and ready.
There could be some FIRs where there is charge of murder and rape. Then there could be some FIRs where there is a charge of rioting, arson, looting. Just give us some idea.
Certainly.
How many FIRs are for murder and rape? How many FIRs are for only murder? How many FIRs are for robbery, dacoity, looting?
Burning of property, bodily harm.
How many FIRs are for grievous hurt? 326. If we get some idea, then probably...
That's all what I'm saying. Yesterday also, please, if you don't mind. So yesterday also I said that for that bifurcation, the time may be a little, maybe short. So we can undertake that exercise. We are bound to undertake that exercise, and that would really assist your lordships in arriving at whichever conclusion your lordships would ultimately arrive at. But for that, my lord, can I not request, my lord, that have it on Friday? We are on Tuesday. Overnight we could prepare this much, my lord. That too, right now, my lord, we didn't have much of the deliberation or discussion with the officials, my lord. At least speaking for myself, I never sat with them. Nor did the AG sit with them. We just went through this.
I try to look at it not only from the point of what's happening now, FIRs and things like that. A very large picture which is involving the state. And one looks at victims on either side. You can blame one clan, one community, and then you start blaming
Can I come within 2 minutes?
There is a huge problem which perhaps could not fall into any defined space of immediate court intervention on certain set parameters. So we need a little more clarity on the subject. A little more clarity will then enable the court to find which way which the court should take and which way the government will be in a position to assist the court. So I think till today we are only trying to find out how do we place our feet somewhere. If you only go by the allegations in the petition, then of course it's a one story altogether. But I have listened to.
So like to know.
Yeah. I didn't want to intervene in the factual.
We would also like to know in how many FIRs specific names have been disclosed of the accused person.
That requires a little time for
Doesn't matter. Yeah. If you want time, we may consider it. But if you place this before us, we'll also get some clear picture.
Certainly,
where you all stand.
Certainly. Since your lordships wanted the information earlier.
And then we would put a second question to you.
The reason why.
If there are names in the FIRs,
it should be done.
What steps have been taken to arrest them?
There can't be any dispute.
To know where they are.
Certainly. Since your lordship's anxiety, and we share the same concern and anxiety, we're not in a different, putting altogether. But I only want to say, I've also looked at the larger picture at some length yesterday and today. It's deeply disturbing. As I said yesterday, we are in the midst of a war of a different dimension. So anything which is said in the court today, in any aspect, either side, myself, the senior counsel on the other side, or the court, it has serious ramifications. And there are incidents occurring in the border area which are deeply disturbing. And one looks into the area, I'm put back. I wonder what is happening. Therefore, we need to take a little calibrated approach in this case. So we'll come back to the court. We'll come back on Friday and then assist the court and assure that the court's conscience will certainly be satisfied and what kind of measures in what best expeditious way it can be done. As of now, I think since the CBI is in the picture, let them go ahead and see what factual collection materials can help us have a clarity on the subject. Why should we anticipate anything about this today? And I say a certain amount of solemn responsibility. Having studied the subject in the past 2 days, as I said, therefore little patience probably would help all of us. And I don't think we need to take sides on this matter. I'm talking as objectively as for the neutral person.
Also, we'd like to know from CBI what is the limits of its own infrastructure. Can it really investigate if you are looking at anywhere between, say, 3,000 to 5,000 FIRs?
All that needs a certain in-depth deliberation with the institution.
I have a suggestion. I had instructions. So far as this 11 are concerned, if your lordship's so permits, all can go to CBA. Your lordship's concern about the rest of the FIRs is shared. Let us have the bifurcation, and maybe we may be able to suggest some solution or something. Right? But without bifurcation, it would be difficult. Just look.
This report, which has been filed on behalf of the
May I
state
not
of,
say something?
on
No,
behalf
I
of the
was-
state of Manipur, it has been stated that 6,496 FIRs have been registered as on 25 July 2023. Full stop. The status report further states that according to the official statistics, 150 deaths took place between May 3 from between 3 to 5 May semicolon 59 between 27 to 29 May, sorry, क्या कहा मैंने? May took place between took place of colon of them 59 between May 3 to 5, 28 between May 27 to 29, and 13 on 9 June. पहले डेट डाल दीजिए फिर मंथ. Full stop. 502 persons are reported to have been injured. Semicolon. Full stop. There were 5101 cases of arson and 6523 FIRs were registered. It has been stated that 252 persons were arrested in connection with all the FIRs, while 12,740 persons arrests were made as a preventive measure. Full stop. The status report, which has been submitted by the state of Manipur, contains details and the status of investigation in relation to 11 FIRs. Full stop. It has been stated that on a preliminary analysis, out of the 6523 registered cases, 11 FIRs involved cases of violence against women and children, but this is subject to further verification. Full stop. The status report indicates that 7 arrests have been made in connection with the 11 FIRs. Next. The Learned Solicitor General submitted that he has received instructions to the effect that apart from the 2 FIRs which have been referred to the Central Bureau of Investigation with the consent of the state of Manipur, the state would be ready and willing to refer all the 11 FIRs which a preliminary survey indicates pertain to offences against women and children to the CBI. Let's stop. Next. At the present stage, the material which has been disclosed before the court is inadequate for the court to form. It is inadequate in the sense that there is no disaggregation of the 6523 FIRs into the nature of the offences to which they pertain, full stop. The state must carry out the exercise of disaggregation and inform the court on how many of the FIRs pertain to cases involving murder and or rape, semicolon, arson and looting, semicolon, destruction of house property, and outraging of modesty, and destruction of places of religious worship and grievous hurt. Let's stop. Based on the preliminary data which has been submitted before the court, it does prima facie appear that the investigation has been tardy. Full stop. There has been a considerable lapse between the occurrence and the registration of the FIR, recording of witness statements, and even the arrests have been few and far between. Full stop. In order to enable the court to appreciate the entire dimensions of the nature of the investigation that would be warranted, we direct that the Director General of Police, Manipur, shall remain personally present before this court on Friday ka date at 2 p.m. and shall be and be in a position to answer the queries of the court. Full stop. The exercise of disaggregation, which has been referred to above, shall also be carried out in the meantime. Full stop. A tabulated statement would be prepared before the court, specifically setting out bracket 1, setting out in a tabulated form, क्या लिखा मैंने? Shall be submitted before this court, indicating on the basis of the bifurcation which has been directed above, comma, bracket 1, the date of the occurrence, semicolon, bracket 2, the date of the registration of the zero FIR, if any, semicolon, the date of registration of the regular FIR, semicolon, bracket 4, the date on which witness statements have been recorded, the dates on which witness statements have been recorded, semicolon, and bracket 4,
164.
164.
the date on which statements under section 164, if any, have been recorded, and bracket 5, the dates on which arrests, if any, have been made, have been effected.
Medical examination, if any.
In respect of each FIR, comma, the tabulated statement shall disclose as to whether the names the accused have been named in the complaint stroke FIR. Full stop. This exercise shall be carried out in the meantime so that the court can be appropriately, so that the court would be in a position to take a decision on the further course of action to be adopted thereafter.
Date of medical examination also.
May I, my lord, just 1 second.
Yes, Mr. One second, 1 second.
Sure that the dates
Well,
are
earlier-
granted.
Yes, Mr.
One indulgence. My lord, your lordships have been pleased to, my lord, require several details, and rightly
Yeah.
so. my lord. Now we have 2 days only. Instead of Friday, can it be Monday?
We'll keep it on Friday because we also lose the freshness with the matter. Today's Tuesday, they have the whole of Wednesday, they have the whole of Thursday.
Come out with something which is inaccurate or something which cannot be answered. My lord, we get a weekend to sit with them.
May I, my lord, kindly,
We can, no, my lord, Mr. Gonzalez, I have a serious objection.
Monday को Manipur है.
may I have many objections.
I have not them.
My lord, may I just give you a suggestion?
No, it's not acceptable.
May I, my lord,
There
give a
is one more
suggestion?
FIR, my lord.
Not acceptable. Because it's given for him. I know where.
Give you time until Monday at 2 p.m.
Well,
Monday 2
Monday.
p.m. Monday 2 p.m.
Monday,
There is
but
one
we
more
have it on Friday. Monday, Belkis would start.
Sorry?
Belkis would start on Monday and he would be there. The Solicitor General would be there on.
Yes.
We all are there.
What is this other child?
We can be everywhere, but he has,
Yes.
he will take time. My lords, can my writ petition 329 of 23 also, it's been numbered. It may
What
also
is that for? Have you given a copy to the other side? What is
Can I,
that
my
for?
lord,
will not be before my lords, it's the copies are with them. If it be tagged with this, it'll be before my lords on whichever date the hearing is.
What are the prayers in that 329?
The same prayers that I was mentioning yesterday. But it's a separate writ, I've given copies.
All right, no problem.
I'm grateful.
Let's let them
There is
give
one
the
more
date of
FIR.
medical examination of the victims.
And make
With
us
the
I
with the
have a
dates which they have to
serious-
provide.
direct,
If somebody has something concrete, just tell us if we have missed out
Lord,
something.
there is one more FIR.
I'll come back
Let's
to
the
you in a
date
moment.
of medical examination also to be mentioned in their details.
My lord, only
You
one
know-
thing, my lord, I have a preliminary point to say.
Yes.
if you look at.
I
the-
didn't object to any counsels, my lord, yesterday. Their timing to come may be questionable. Their selective, my lord, approaching may be questionable. I didn't, my lord, say a word. I would object to Mr. Gonzalez speaking. Then, your lordships may see something, my lord, there are some videos that's. Nothing
All
can
right,
come
Mr.
out of the
Gonsalves.
country.
Say,
Mr. Gonsalves, you've already passed an order. We want some information from the
I
government.
didn't want to be
If
heard.
there's something that we have missed, tell us. That's
Yes.
confined to only that, right?
One more FIR.
What, my lord?
One
There's
more
only 1 second. Just
Yes.
we'll come back to you right away.
Yes. One is to go into this exercise of looking at 6,000 FIRs and so on. But there's a more direct approach, will have direct results. If you look at the FIRs, the victims are identifying the groups that have attacked them. On the 7th of May, I gave your lordship.
Mr. Gonsalves.
Just let me finish.
Just 1 second. Just
Yes.
I'll
The video.
pause. Solicitor, 1 second.
Inspiration.
Solicitor, 1 second. 1 second. I'm learning attorney. Just 1 second. Mr. Gonsalves, this is your statement that the victims have identified the groups which have attacked them.
Correct.
We want that. That's exactly what we asked them to mention in the tabulated statement. Therefore, we wanted them to analyze it and present it to us. That's all.
No, I want.
This is a broad statement which you're making. Once they do that exercise, we will know thereafter how to proceed. That's all. But let that exercise be done for clarity.
Yes, well, what I was completing is this.
Yes.
That I can assist. Why? Because on the 7th of May, I gave the photographs of them with their weapons. I gave so much information. Every person identified, their identity, their Facebook posts, the names of the organizations, taking oath before the high functionaries of the government. I gave all information with photographs. And today we are told we don't know. So it is a better idea. If they look at what the victims have said, who are these organizations? Who are they led
Yeah,
by?
who are the organizations?
Who are they?
That needs to be
Now,
examined.
the 7th of
The
May,
petitioner examination
I
should be the
gave
first one.
information. So, my
There are
lord,
weapons on both sides.
I'm ending.
There are
There
weapons.
are automatic weapons on that side. That's the problem. There are automatic weapons. There are mortar launchers.
My lord, only one thing. My lord, we know many things. Your lordship perhaps know some of the things, but the difficulty is, my lord, on our part, my lord, that we can confine to these two, my lord, volumes. We can't say many things, but otherwise, my lord, there are inspirations coming from somewhere else, my lord, that we would resist.
Apart from the 11 named, there is a 12th, my lord, which is also, my lord, in respect of women and children, my lord. We have lodged, my lord. It is part of the record, my lord, in IA 144163, writ petition 540.
So, Jadip, you do this, give a copy of that to the learned
I will-
solicitor. So he puts that in his tabulated statement. So there'll be a 12th and not just 11.
Yes. My lord, a woman was burnt alive in her house, my lord. This FIR is related.
Fair.
Yes, my lord, may I submit, my lord?
I'm giving you the assailants' photographs and
My lord,
everything. Surely, my lord, they can focus on the head of the organization. Things will stop if you catch the head of the groups. Now, the group that said we will annihilate them on Karam Thapa's program, not touched. I gave your lordship last time the beheading of a young boy. Can you imagine? This guy beheads him,
Look,
walked
there's a-
on the road holding him by
Let's
his
not
hair,
instigate people
Holding
there.
him.
Let's not.
arrested him.
There's an old saying, my lords, that quarrels would not last long if the fault lay on only one side. And I don't want to precipitate things. I don't want to precipitate things. Yes, one.
Mr. Hegde, therefore, our approach, as you probably have already
ma'am.
realized, is to go on absolute data which we want.
Absolutely, my lord.
Uh,
That's why we kept quiet also.
We have therefore very advisedly passed an order for the disclosure of full data to the court.
Please, my lord.
We'll be able to form some analysis of trends on the basis of the data.
Please, my lord.
We have something in mind of the ultimate order which we want to pass, but obviously that's subject to what we deduce from the data which is made available to us by the
Absolutely, my
government.
lord.
So we will put it to you eventually what solution we want to find in this.
Please,
matter.
my lord. And one thing that would.
Whatever we have said today, the certain.
As serious as.
And I repeat, our approach is irrespective of who was the perpetrator and who was the victim.
Absolutely.
Yeah, an offense, for us, an offense is an offense, whoever has committed and whoever is the victim. So
my lord,
let's
may I
be
submit
very
your
clear
lordship?
about that.
Kindly, my lord, bear me out if I have uttered a single word on that. We know, my lord, what's the factual position is. We should not be concerned.
Equally, Mr. Solicitor, we are cognizant of the fact that on both sides, we are a constitutional court. We are cognizant of the fact that on both sides, there are eminent counsel representing both segments of the spectrum, but that doesn't matter for us. We're not talking you and the Attorney General. You are assisting the court. But there may be counsel who are appearing for their respective clients, and there's nothing wrong with it. They have to present their perspective to the court, and we are duty bound to hear it. But as I said, we will be driven by data. We will be, and that's the only way we can maintain some degree of objectivity.
Lordship would recall, from day one, I'm resisting Mr. Gonzalez's efforts to mention tribes. The Lordship would recall that please don't mention tribes.
They are my clients. The tribes are my clients.
I have a
The
suggestion there.
client is.
I have a suggestion there, my lord. Purely geographical. The geography is this, that there are some people on the hills, some people in the valley. Just say hills, valley, people,
No, I
or
like
something
to
of that
keep it
kind.
there.
Even there. Say,
Another thing then, what we will, Mr. Solicitor,
Neutral
Mr.
as well.
Solicitor, we would like you to also reflect on it and let there be no surprises. We may think of eventually, based on what the data reveals, and we'll have to calibrate what kind of committee, etc. But we were thinking, we are thinking aloud that we may think of constituting a committee consisting of former judges of the High Court, who will make an overall assessment. Will be a broad-based committee. First, we'll decide upon the remit of the committee. It may be for deciding on the relief and rehabilitation measures, compensation, restoration of homes, just to supervise the work which is being done by the government in that regard. Apart from that, to ensure that the process pre-investigation is fair, that it is done in a proper way, including recording statements under 164, ensuring that statements under 161 were recorded on time. If they have not, now recording the statements under 164 in any case before the magistrate, irrespective of where the victims are today situated. Many of them, as we find from the status report, have left. They have left Manipur. So wherever they are, their statements have to be recorded under 164. So we would, subject to hearing both sides, be inclined. We will not give our mind today on what the nature and the constitution of the committee would be. On the aspect of who will conduct the investigation, Mr. Solicitor, we'd like you to take some instruction on this. I'm just telling you so that and this is not a fixed opinion, because we are open, subject to hearing you, but we are just sharing it with you so that you can then take instructions when you're having your conferences. We have about 6,500 FIRs. The reason we've asked for a bifurcation, we will actually need to see which are the real serious FIRs involving, say, bodily harm, rape, murder, destruction of properties, etc. Now, obviously, you can't transfer the entire lock, stock, and barrel to the CBI. You'd be rendering CBI dysfunctional, because that's not the purpose of the CBI. Now, what happens then to the rest of the investigation? We are not in a situation where the state police can carry out the entirety of the investigation. Then we have to put into place some mechanism by virtue of which that investigation can properly be guided and supervised. In which case, what do we do? We have a couple of options, in which case, one is allow the...
Suggest some options.
Yes, you can come back to us with what those options should be.
But today we are slightly foggy.
Right. No, but...
We need a little more.
Absolutely.
Therefore, once all these...
But we have clarity about 6,500 FIRs. That much is absolutely very clear.
That's right.
And we are also clear about the fact that, you entrusting CBI with the investigation of 6,500 it's impossible. This is, at the same time, we have serious limitation of the state police to look into all the 6,500 FIRs. What is then the solution?
We'll
Come back to us with that.
Lordship will bear in mind.
We have broad ideas on what the solution should be, but we should
May I submit your lordship?
arguments on that, and therefore we'd like to hear you before we then put to you on what our solution is. I think broadly you have an indication of what we are likely to do, so that there are no surprises in our report.
Lordship, while this matter is being considered,
You had given us that Myanmar, I remember that.
From where the inspiration is.
Ranjit, you make an appearance